do's and don'ts of the interviews. What a candidate should do and what a candidate should not do during the interview. The main purpose of interview is that you want to get selected. So let me ask you, okay, you all, that what are the things that you feel that you do during an interview? Okay, the next question that I'm going to ask after some time is what you should not do during the interview. So let me first ask you that what should you do during the interviews? You can write down in the chat box or you can open the mic and also tell me. I am waiting for your answers. What do you think should be done by you during the interview so that you get selected for the specific job? And what are the things that you should not do? That will be my next question. First is what you should do. Please answer this question. Either in chat box or you can open your mic and tell me the answer. Waiting for your answers. We have 40 candidates. Let me see how many can answer this question. Common sense hai, fully confident about yourself. Fantastic. You should be. Okay. That is the first thing. You should have confidence in yourself. Okay. Make eye contact. Fantastic. Jagda Sarth, very right answer. This is one of the points that we are going to see when I'm going to talk about it. So eye contact is a must during the interview. That eye contact, Giriraj, the eye contact is going to show whether you are confident in yourself or not. Don't be nervous. Fantastic. Again, the eye contact is going to decide whether you are nervous or not. If you have a proper eye contact, you're not going to. Don't fidget. Perfectly right. Have a proper body posture. Again, right. You have to sit very erect. Okay. You have to sit at a little bit of distance and you should have a very erect body posture. Fantastic.
Sir, can I say something?
Yes. Just a minute. I'll just talk about what is there in the chat box. Personality matters. Skills of communication. Yes. The skill of communication depends upon, how much knowledge you have. If you have a proper knowledge, then definitely you are going to have a very good communication skill. Dress properly. Fantastic. But Saina, okay, you have to be properly dressed. Overdressing also is a problem and underdressing is also a problem. Okay, if you have shoes, if you are going to, you firstly have to wear shoes, and if you are wearing the shoes, then it should be polished. Okay, and we are going to talk about the dressing. Okay, showcase your knowledge. Perfectly right. You're over there to showcase your knowledge. Okay, you have to showcase your knowledge, but at the same time, don't overdo or don't do bragging. That you should not do. But you have to showcase your knowledge. Make a first good impression. Absolutely right. Whether you are giving a presentation, the point that you are going to study next, or whether you are giving an interview, your first impression do matter. Okay, so what you have to do for your first impression that you are going to study, listen and respond accordingly. Fantastic. Listening is a very important skill. Don't try to cut the question and try to answer. You should properly listen. What proper pronunciation. Okay, so your pronunciation should be proper. Many a times it happens that the pronunciation is what we study in the classroom. For example, some people must have studied as salt, or some people must have studied as salt. Okay, so maybe the pronunciation, if good, it is fantastic, but if it is wrong, don't worry that your English is not proper or something of that sort. The other person is checking your knowledge and not English. Unless and until the job requires English as one of the one of the key areas, then the pronunciation etc. matters a lot. But if it is a more of a technical kind of a job where English language is not that compulsory, then don't worry about pronunciation etc. Many times for this, whether my English is going to be good or not, and so on and so forth. So don't put yourself under the pressure. Okay, right. So these are the things which have been written in the chat box. Fantastic answers, guys. Somebody was saying something. I just stopped him. May I know who was speaking?
Yeah, so this is Mir, sir.
Oh, Mir, tell me.
Yeah, sir. So I think basic like rule for the interview is that you should speak the truth.
Because you should speak the truth, because the other person is very intelligent in order to catch your faults. Okay, so the other person, if you're going to speak something wrong, is going to catch you, and that is going to lead to problems. Secondly, if you are speaking something false, If not today, tomorrow you are going to get caught. Okay, so be truthful to yourself and to the others. Yes, anything else? Anything else you want to put me here?
No, sir, nothing.
Okay, fantastic. You should be truthful, right? That is what Sath is also saying, Jagda. Should be precise, absolutely. But don't be so precise whereby you give the answer in yes or no. That is one of the things. You don't give your answer in yes or no. Okay. You try to elaborate, but don't overdo also so that you bore that person. Okay? So be precise, be to the point, but be complete also in whatever you're saying. Truthfulness, already Meher talked about, that is perfectly right about everything, because they understand that you're lying or bragging. Absolutely. So don't brag, and that doesn't sound good also. Even in friends, you will be seeing that the people who brag about themselves, you don't like it, isn't it? So as far as possible, don't brag, but definitely yes, don't fake yourself. Again, don't lie or don't brag. That comes under don't fake yourself. Fantastic. Okay. Don't overdo the things, right? All answers I have compiled in my own way or as per the requirements of your answer. Okay, so what are the things that you can do? First, okay, make sure that your hands are attractive, your nails are trimmed, your hands are clean, because that is the first thing that you are going to offer to your interviewer, because you are going to shake hands with him. So see to it that your hands are clean, and that is the thing that is always open. Hands are open, your remaining body is most of the time covered. So see that your hands are attractive, see that you have a proper if you are shaving, then have a proper shave. If you are keeping beard nowadays, during my days usually beard was not acceptable during the interviews, but yes, now the interviewers are accepting the beard, but see to it that it is properly trimmed and it is properly, you basically you should be attractive enough, in order to you should be presentable enough. Somebody talked about presenting himself. Okay, you should be very presentable when you go for the interview. That includes your hands, that includes your nails, that includes your hair, which is the next point. Okay, so it should be properly combed. It should be combed in a conservative style. It should not be very funky enough. क्या आप डालते हैं ना spike वगैरह. Okay, that should not be there. Common sense की बातें है ये. But you should see that your hands, your clothes. Somebody talked about scent. Yes, you should pay attention to your scents. Don't have a powerful sense or intense cologne. Okay, men and women, they should look into this aspect. Definitely you should smell good. That is also another requirement. If definitely if your body because of perspiration, etc., if your body stinks for that matter, then definitely wear a nice perfume and go, because you have to take care of that also. So apply proper deodorants when you're going, but don't be very powerful, right? Moderation is recommended, as to put in proper words. Do go to restroom, because interviews are basically make you nervous. If you get nervous, then definitely you feel like urinating again and again. So see to it that you go to the restroom, and you do not. It's very embarrassing, definitely, to interrupt an interview. Nobody does that, but definitely, but you will become a little bit of uncomfortable if you have not gone to the restroom, and if you get that urge during the interview. Okay. Another important thing is in order to avoid the nervousness and to make yourself calm, you should take a very good night's sleep. Okay, do not yawn in the lobby, because nowadays there are cameras. People are going to watch you, how you are sitting in the lobby, how you are behaving in the lobby. Okay, so when you're in the lobby, you have to take very good care of what you are speaking with the other person, how you are speaking with the other person. Please remember, they have their own men. The employer plans his own men inside the in between the interview. I had gone for the interview of Sun Pharma as a medical representative in those days. This is way back in 1996, I think so, 1996 or 1995. I had gone for the interview, and the preliminary interviews were in Pune and the final interview was scheduled in Baroda. So when I was there in Baroda, I was the whole day the interviews were going on around 2, 3, 4. These all were going on over there. First round was conducted over here, and for the whole day I was with a group of people who were sitting together. Many people were bragging, many people were talking something or that sort. I have this, I have these plans, I have that plans, I'm going to use this as a stepping stone, and so on, so not and so forth. They were talking. Why I'm telling you this, finally, when I went for the final interview, in between the interviewers, a man was sitting over there who was with us for the whole day. So whatever we were saying in the whole day, all the reporting was going to them, because one of their men was sitting with us. So how you behave in the lobby, how you behave in the group, okay, these all things will be noticed by the interviewer, maybe in the form of camera, or maybe a man sitting in between you. You never know. Okay. So coming back to the topic, take a very good sleep, okay, prior to the day of the interview. Don't yawn in the lobby, or don't yawn during the interview. It is going to definitely cost you a lot. Okay. Also, when you take a good rest, then you also remain alert in order to answer the questions. Somebody talked about look in the eye of the interviewers. Yes, you should look into the eye of the interviews. That tells you that you're confident also. That shows that you're not nervous also. That tells you that you're knowledgeable also. So many things are said, are told by your body language. That is this body language of looking into the eye of the interviewer. Okay. At the same time, you don't have to stare him. Okay, that also you have to remember. Use gestures you did during your conversation. Okay, but see to it that your gestures are smooth and empathetic. Don't overdo your gestures. Okay, so have a smooth, empathetic gestures. Okay, pointing of fingers, etc., that should be avoided. Okay, don't point your fingers, but normal gestures which are going to again go along with whatever you're talking. Okay, that is going to help a lot. Have a very pleasant smile onto your face. It smile doesn't mean that you have to do comedy over there, or you just have to make the atmosphere very light. No, that is not what it means. That is a big no. Okay, don't do that. Don't take the questions very light and give some answers which is going to produce laughter. A small kind, but definitely at the same time, if a joke, you don't crack jokes, but a joke has been cracked by the employer, then be sure that you respond him with a laughter or with a smile. Do that. At the same time, during the whole interview, do smile. The smile on your face is going to make the interview quite comfortable, is going to show to the interviewer that you are not nervous, and it is also going to add to your face value and to your overall personality. So do smile during the interview. Okay, have a smile on your face. The next thing that you can do is make sure that you take the right name of the interviewer. If required, do use it at a few times. But again, the same thing, don't overdo it, or don't, if you have not understood the name of the interviewer when he is telling you, okay, then don't try to take wrong names. That is also very wrong. Okay. So if you have understood, if the name is easy for pronunciation, then definitely go for calling interviewer's name. Okay. Don't call him by the first name. In America, they have an habit of saying as Mr. Manish. Okay. But if you see in India, they call by their surname. So Mr. Vani would be more preferable or than Mr. Manish. Okay. In India. Okay. So the surname is more preferred in India than the first name. But if you are appearing for an interview in America, then or US, or you can say in UK, then definitely the first name is more preferred than the second name. Try to use it a few times if you have understood the name, but don't again overdo. Okay, for every answer, don't call by his first name and then answer it. Wherever required, you can use his name. Okay, but correct name. Do carry some money with you because it will be if most of the time the employers they give you the to and fro charges whatever you have incurred, but if they are not going to give those charges, then you should carry some money along with you. It will be very embarrassing for you to ask money from the interviewer itself. Okay, so do have some money handy with you. Do take notes if you wish. Okay, or write down some queries when you're sitting in the lobby if you feel like. Okay, do write down some notes. Do write down some queries. Do write down some points, some facts, and try to refer it during the interview. Okay, if you feel that you won't be able to remember it, that also is going to be appreciable. For example, just for an example, memorizing it is fantastic, but for that matter, if you feel that you can't memorize some things, okay, or you might forget some questions, then you can definitely write it down. Okay, just for an example, if you see the for the questions like what you know about the organization, if you can write down about what you know about the organization, if you can jot down some points, and if they ask you this question and if you say, sir, I made some points, I have something to tell you about the organization, and if you want to open the point and if you want to refer to, you definitely can. Okay, then if you want some questions to be asked and if you feel that you're going to forget this question and they are very important for you uh, to ask the interview, then you can write down those questions, you can write down those queries. Okay, and you can ask them during the interview. Then next thing is what you can do is the another do for during an interview is you have to set the pace, let the interviewer set the pace of the interview. Don't be very fast. Okay, if the interviewer is fast, you can be fast. If the interviewer is slow, then you can be slow. Okay, don't don't make him or her lead with the questions. Okay, also let the interviewer decide whether the interview is over or when the interview should get over. You do not interrupt him in between, or look at your watch or give him some signs where you are saying that showing that the interview is over, or get up from the chair unless and until he says. Okay, so these are some of the do's during the interview. Now let me ask you, what are the don'ts of an interview, what you should not do. Okay,
Excuse me, sir.
yeah,
Before you proceed, can I add one point?
yeah, please do.
Oh yeah. So sir, if you're going for an interview, so you need to in an English language, right? So don't make others to speak in a very high profile manner. Like don't speak any high vocabulary, or make it simple.
Absolutely, because you never know, the person who is taking your interview may not be having that kind of an vocabulary also. Okay, it is not that each and every person is very sound in English. As I told you, English should not, or any language for that matter, should not come in an interview. Whether you know an English, if you know English, that doesn't mean, or you are very good at English, doesn't mean that you are fit for the job. At the same time, if you don't know English, if you have a vernacular medium, doesn't mean that you won't be selected because your English is not good. Okay, but the language should be simple. It should be understandable to the other person. At the same time, if you feel that your vocabulary is not good, if your English is not good for that matter, if you have a fantastic English, then see to it that you don't use those accents, when you are in India. Definitely the accents should be used when you go to US or UK, but don't use the accents in India. That is not going to help you a lot. Okay, so that care you have to take. You don't show off that you are very good in English. That is the thing that you have to take care if you are, if you are from a vernacular medium, or if you are from what you call that convent, if you are convent educated. Okay, so don't show that, don't brag about your English. Definitely brag about your knowledge, or show your knowledge. That is what is required. At the same time, I would like to say to many people who would be sitting over here for my lecture and who feel that their English is not good. English should never come in between you and anything and your job. It is basically the knowledge that is required. So if you have a proper knowledge और आपका टूटा फूटा इंग्लिश भी होगा, and if you are able to communicate that much to the person and tell him about the knowledge, that also is going to help you a lot. Okay, so don't worry about the language per se, that is English language per se. If you know it, good. If you don't know it, no problem. That's what I would like to tell you at this moment about the language. But knowledge, yes, it is important. You should have knowledge. Again, as I have said, you can practice as interview during your 4 years. We are going to conduct interviews of you. If you feel that mock interviews, which you call it, if you feel that you are not good during interviews, also your vivas would be conducted once your college starts. Teachers are going to take your vivas, etc. Okay, that time see to it that you overcome all the fears that you have during an interview. So try to take note of all the do's and don'ts and try to implement it during your vivas. Try to implement during your mock interviews. Try to implement during your regular interviews. The more you give the interviews, the more perfect you will become. Try to understand this. This is also an art. Any art is going to be perfect if you do it more number of times. Okay, so try to give more number of interviews. Try to conduct mock interviews. Ask your friends to conduct mock interviews. Ask your parents to conduct mock interviews. Okay, that is going to help you a lot. Right? Okay, anything else anybody wants to say at this moment of time? In the meanwhile, you can answer about my next question. What are the don'ts for the interviews? These are the do's for the interviews. So what are the don'ts for the interviews? What you should not do during an interview? What do you feel? What you should not do?
Sir, don't be late for the interview.
Fantastic. Don't be late for the interview. You should be on time. You should be punctual. In fact, you should be before time. That is my first point. Fantastic. Anything else? Don't fidget your hands. Don't fidget your legs. Don't move it.
Looking distracted.
Perfectly right. Don't look distracted. Fantastic. Okay, absolutely right. Don't over gesture or body language. Fantastic. Fantastic. Don't overdo the body language. Don't overdo the lecture, gesturing, etc. Okay, don't overdo anything for that matter.
Asking unrelated questions.
Sorry. One by one. Yes.
Asking unrelated questions which are not related to the purpose of the interview.
Unrelated question. Absolutely. Don't ask unrelated questions. Don't get bothered if unrelated questions is being asked. Many times interview ask unrelated question. Okay, so tell him properly that this is the question which is not related. That's why you are not able to answer it. Don't say negative about the current employee. Wow, kya baat hai, Aditi. Fantastic. Answer which I never expected. Don't say negative about your current employee. If you are currently employed and if you are going for another person for the job, don't talk anything bad about anybody. For that matter, एक 2 मिनट इसके ऊपर लूंगा this point को. Don't lie about your skill. Fantastic. Don't do that. Do not show off. Don't show off the attitude if she has while the interview. बराबर है. Okay. Don't show off attitude. I feel so positive attitude should be shown. लेकिन वो जो अलग वाला attitude होता है ना, वो मत दिखाओ. Don't play with your hand. Don't play with your hairs. Don't play with your leg. Fantastic during the interviews. Okay. Again, don't do excessive of your body language or gesturing. Yes, absolutely right. Don't fidget. Right. Anything else? Fantastic. For that matter, you have given here about 7, 8, which are included. Okay, in my answer. Anything else? Okay. Let us.
Sir?
Yeah.
Yeah. So sir, basic thing I want to say is that if an interviewer is saying something, or he's asking, or she's asking something, or he's answering something, so don't try to interrupt between him or her.
Don't try to interrupt him.
Yeah,
Let him
you can say it
listen
in the end,
properly.
or you can say it before he asks or she asks something.
Absolutely. Basically, you have to ask something only after completion of interview while you are leaving. It becomes quite impolite to ask something in between. Yes, you can. If you have not understood any question, that time you can reframe the question and ask, "Sir, this is what you wanted me to ask." That can be a do, whereby you can reframe the question. So this is what you want from me. This is what you are trying to ask me. This can be done, but don't ask the question of salaries. Don't ask the question of promotions. Don't ask the questions of policies, etc. During the interview. That can be done after the interview, or that can be done during the hiring process. Okay, once the interview have decided that you are going to be hired, and if it tells you that you're now we are satisfied with your interview, and now you are going to be hired, that is the right time that you're going to discuss about all things. Okay, fine, that you have hired me. Now let me ask you some questions, so because I have to make a decision based on that. Or many a times the interviewer himself says, do you want to ask me something? That is going to be the time that you're going to ask him few things. Okay, though we have said in my lecture that in my last lecture, that the what you call it, the employer also wants to know a few things, but it will always be better if you ask those few things when the interviewer himself says, do you want to know something from us? That time you should ask the question. And don't ask the questions, as I told you last time also, don't ask the questions which are in public domain, which you can find on internet. So that will show that you are not studied properly. Like, what is the company public limited or private limited? Who is the owner of the company? What is the market value of the present company? What is the sales of the company? Which are the products that are available? Okay, these all questions are available on the net nowadays. So it is expected that you know all these things. So don't ask those questions. Basically, ask the questions which are not there in public domain, which are related with your post, which are related with your job, which is related with the interview. That is the thing that is expected from you. Okay. And yes, as you rightly said, don't ask it in between the interview, and let the person complete his question. Wait for him to complete the question. Don't interrupt him and then answer. Let us see what are the different don'ts that have been given. The first don't, as rightly pointed out, was don't be late. In fact, try to reach not also nick of time. Try to reach a little bit earlier, say 15 to 20 or 30 minutes earlier. Try to try in the lobby. Try to relax yourself. Try to compose yourself. Remove the nervousness what has been required. As I talked about, go to the washroom. Uh, be comfortable, sit quietly, and wait for your turn. Being prompt is going to give very right signal to the employer. As I told you, you are going to be watched, you are going to be noticed. And being late is also going to give very wrong signals. Okay, that shows that if you are late for the interview, it is your attitude to come late. So have a very good attitude of reaching any place in time. Don't wear your outer clothes in an interview. You should be wearing very decent clothes, very what do you call that, nice clothes, very soothing clothes, soothing color. Okay, when you're appearing for the interview, don't wear red, black, or dark blue, dark green kind of dresses which are going to which are going to shine a lot. Okay, so don't overdo with your dressing also. Be as decent as possible. Wear a tie wherever required. If you have a tie, do wear it. Do wear what you call that, do wear the blazers wherever it is possible. If you are wearing any overtoe coat, basically the females, they have an habit of wearing those white coats, you know. If you are wearing any mask, etc., just try to remove it. Nowadays, if it becomes a norm of wearing the mask, try to remove the mask, etc. Okay, so on and so forth. So see to it that you wear proper dose. proper clothes. Don't wear your outer clothes into an interview. And if you are wearing any overcoat, etc., then please, this is a kind of an overcoat that should not be wear. That should not be worn during an interview. But at the same time, if you are wearing a blazer and a tie, yes, do keep it. Okay. So you should have a sense of wearing proper decent clothes during an interview. Don't sit down unless you are asked for sitting down, whether it is a viva, whether it is an interview, whether you are in a boss chamber. At any given moment of time, don't sit down until you are asked. Remember, nobody is going to make you wait. Okay, nobody is going to make you stand and take the interview. But don't fidget with the chair. Okay, don't move the chair back unless and until it has been told to you, and until it's been asked for you to sit. Okay, stand for a few moments. उससे ज़्यादा कुछ रख नहीं पड़ने वाला. Okay, don't keep anything in your mouth. Don't keep chewing the gums, etc. If you have the habit, throw it outside and then go. Don't eat pan and go for the interviews. Don't eat candies in the lobby or during the interviews. Some people have this habit of eating those polos and fresh mints. So avoid that. I have not highlighted no cigarettes. I have not highlighted because I am confident that no student of MIT WPP University would be smoking cigarettes. So I am confident about that. So I have not highlighted that point also. So obviously you won't be doing those things. I need not tell you also about that. So don't keep anything in your mouth, which will be irritating to the interviewer. Another very important thing that the student tend to do is they or the interview they tend to do is they lean or they lean on the table or they put their elbows on the interviewer's desk. Please, you have to sit back on the chair and you have to sit very erect on the chair. Sit back so that you are totally being observed, okay, by the interviewer. He can totally see you. That is the way you should sit, and you should be sitting very erect. So that is the way you should be sitting. The next thing is don't wear the tinted glasses, goggles, ye wo, during the interview, or don't keep them in the head in this way, right? The tinted glasses, don't keep them on the head. That is a wrong way of doing it. Before going inside, you should remove it from your purse. You should remove it from your eyes, put it in a purse or pocket. Okay, I'm talking about the glasses, the goggles. Okay, the glares. Don't put them and go for the interview. Don't carry very fashionable kind of a handbag, basically for the women. Or don't or if you're carrying any document, don't carry sack, etc. Try to carry a bag which is very professional in nature. The bag which the professionals they carry. Try to carry those bags. Okay, along with you. If you're carrying any laptop or if you're carrying any files, try to carry them in a proper bag. Okay. Or as if you have any fashionable bag, if you have what you call that, sacks or something of that sort, then try to keep it outside. Only try to take the relevant thing, that is the file, etc., along with you. But for that matter, if you have to take a bag, if it is a decent bag, a leather bag, official bag, if you want to take it, you can take it inside and you can keep it on the floor. Don't keep it on the interviews. That you can do. Okay. Watch your hands, watch your fingernails. Women and men both don't have the fingernails which are very which are nail kiya hua and which are very long enough. Don't do that. Okay. Don't be nervous. As somebody talked about, nervousness can be seen by when you drum your fingers. आप तबला बजाते हो टेबल के ऊपर, or you move your legs. This thing that is cracking your knuckles. Okay. Or if you have don't carry change in your pocket, where you have a habit of playing on the change and making the noise. In fact, don't put your hand in the pocket for that matter. Keep it for proper gesturing. Okay, these are the things. So don't show the sign of nervousness. Somewhere else and answers. Don't do that. Don't keep adjusting your clothes. That is also a sign of nervousness. Doing this again and again. Yeah, ऐसा नीचे करना, then again ऊपर करना. or something like this. Again, when a question is being asked, you play with your clothes. Don't do that. Okay, that is also a sign of nervousness. Okay, don't fiddle with your hair, don't fidget with your hand, don't fidget with anything for that matter. Okay, doing this during an interview is a very wrong thing. Okay, now don't compare the office of a recruiter with the other office that you have gone through. Okay, don't try to say ki sir AC yahan pe kyun laga hua hai, sir we have only one AC. Okay, it is quite hot over here. The other place where I had gone, they had this type of an arrangement. Don't try to do that. First thing, he won't like it, and second thing, he will come to know that you have gone to many places and you have been rejected at many places. So don't do that. Don't pick up anything from the recruiter's desk unless you have been told to, or unless you take the permission. For example, he asks you some question and he gives you the pad and you want to explain it something by writing. So don't pull the pad, don't pull the pen from his desk and just start writing. It is a very wrong habit. Don't do that from your professor's table also, from your principal's table also, or after you are getting recruited also. Don't do that. Okay. Another thing that you don't have to do is don't listen to the phone calls. Okay, the recruiter that has received. Many times when he receives the phone call, because the person is talking too loudly, you try to hear the conversation in between them. Even if you have heard the conversation, don't try to ask the question regarding that. Sir, was it this and that? Was it a call from this person? So what has happened? Is there any problem? That sort. Don't try to ask something regarding the phone call discussion. Don't try to show that you have heard the discussion. Okay, or don't try to comment on the discussion. Sir, what he said was very wrong. You are very right in scolding him because his sentence was very wrong. Don't try to do that unless and until the interviewer himself says something about it. Okay, if the interviewer says something about it and he opens the conversation with you, then you can comment. Okay, or you can even say, sir, I didn't hear what you were trying to say, can you explain me what it was, or something of that sort. That is also if the interviewer is asking you the question about the conversation of the phone call. Best thing is don't comment anything, let the phone call get over, let the interviewer starts with his next question. Till that time you can keep quiet. Okay, that is the best thing that you can do. Many times this is also important when you are employed, when you become an employer of the organization and you enter into the boss cabin. And when you enter into the boss cabin, if the boss gets a phone call and if he's saying something, if he's talking on the phone, don't comment on what he spoke. It will give an idea to the boss that you were trying to overheard him. Okay, so don't do that. Now, hello. Okay, fine. Then don't stand if somebody else, man or woman, comes and walks into the cabin, unless until you know him. If you are knowing that that person is of a great stature, he's the CEO of the company, he's at a very higher position, you have already met him somewhere and you know him, then definitely you can stand up. Or you can stand up if your interviewer has stood up, then you can also stand up and give him the respect. Don't try to start the communication with the person who has entered into the cabin. The interviewer himself introduces him. If the interviewer introduces him, he is the say MD of the organization, he is the HR head, something of that sort, then you can stand up, you can pay him the respect, you can shake hand with him, you can say hello to him, but that is all after the interviewer has introduced. If the interviewer does not say anything, you sit at your place, let the conversation between the interviewer and that person get over, let the person go off, and let again the interview get started. Okay, this is the way you should behave. The next is, don't try to look into the documents that are kept on the table. Supposing the interviewer is talking on the phone with somebody else, तब तक आपको टाइम है, तो उनके टेबल पे जो डॉक्यूमेंट पड़े उसको रीड मत करो. Or many a times, if the computer is tilted towards you, don't try to read what is there on the computer. Okay, You can look into your documents. You can look into the points that you have noted for yourself. You can look into your papers. That is fine, but don't try to peep it into the documents of the other person. Don't try to peep in the computer of the interviewer. Don't do that. Okay, you can have the overview of the room. That is fine, but don't read the documents. Again, this is also true once you are getting employed. If you are entering into anybody's cabin, even if you are meeting your professors, okay, don't try to look into their computer what they are doing. Don't try to read into the documents that are kept on his table or her table. Don't do that. Okay, don't call the recruiter again and again sir, ma'am, too much. Sir, don't do that. Okay, definitely respect should be given, but don't overdo the respect. Okay, at the same time, don't call the interviewer's name quite often. So calling him sir, ma'am, or calling him by the name every time you start with an answer is going to be annoying. As I told you, don't be a comedian over there. Don't show your wits over there. Don't show your vocabulary, and don't try to crack jokes over there. Interview is a very formal process. Interview is a very serious process. Okay, don't try to have a light-hearted approach. At the same time, have a smile on your face. Definitely that has been required. Okay, but don't try to lose the seriousness of the purpose. Okay, at the same time, if the interviewer is witty, if the interviewer is cracking some jokes, if you want to support him in that, it is fine. Okay, he is cracking a joke and you are remaining serious, that is also wrong. He is playing with the words and you are not responding him, that is also bad. Okay, but you yourself don't comprehend, right? As I told you earlier, don't give the answer in one or two words. Be elaborative. You are there to showcase your knowledge. That is the place where you have to showcase your knowledge. I am talking about showcasing your knowledge. Don't overdo it. Okay. Don't try to show off over there. You have to you have to show him that you are perfect for that said job. The job which is offered for you, you are what you call that you are one of the candidate, you are one of the potential candidate for that job. Okay, so try to talk to him or her, whoever he is. Go in a shell. Okay, if you go in a shell, if you are answering in yes or no, if you're not showcasing your knowledge, if you're not showcasing your skills, if you're not telling him what you are going to offer them, then definitely you are not going to be selected. Okay, while doing this, while showcasing your knowledge, don't dominate the conversation. Okay, answer, listen to the question thoroughly, understand it. Okay, but don't drone on forever. It means that don't bore him with excess of knowledge. वही बात रिपीट मत करते जाओ. The question, somebody talked about precise. Precise is a very right word. Precise is a word whereby you don't answer in one or two words. At the same time, you are not talking the same points again and you're also. Be precise in whatever you are saying. Okay, don't interrupt. Somebody rightly said, okay, don't interrupt him. It is a very nobody is going to excuse you for that. In any interview situation, don't interrupt. Let the person finish with the question. Okay, once he finishes with the question, then you try to answer it. Don't use profanity. Okay, when you are doing it, when you're talking. Okay, profanity is offensive language or very harsh kind of language. Okay, or maybe sarcastic comments. Okay, don't try to do that, or giving taunts. Okay, that won't be appreciated by the interviewer. Many a times you have to remember that the interviewer specifically makes you offended, makes you feel angry at many moments, but that is the time he purposefully pushes you to the wall whereby you get angry. So he is, try to remember that he is checking your cool for check your patience. in a particular situation, that if somebody tries to make you angry, how you are going to react to that particular situation. That is what he is checking. So don't use an offensive language, don't use harsh language, don't use taunts, don't use sarcasm when you're speaking with the recruiter. Okay, don't use slang language. Bidu bidu ye mata aise. Don't use bhai. Don't use these kind of languages. Okay, you're not his friend or you're not his brother or something over there sitting over there. Even if you know the interviewer, please remember, even if you are aware who the interviewer is, don't try to use slangs, don't try to use profanity, don't try to use a very personalized kind of a language. Okay, it is a very serious stuff that is going on over there. Don't gush, don't burst out. Okay, at the you can be pleasant, okay, without being syrupy also, right? If you should be diplomatic, but ज़्यादा buttering वगैरह करने की जरूरत नहीं. He knows what he is good at, he knows what he is bad at, so don't be buttery. But yes, if you like some question, if you like some wit that he has given, then definitely you can praise that. But don't again overdo, don't do buttering again and again and again. Okay, don't be syrupy. You can be nice, calm, and cool with the interview. Again, there are some things which a person overdoes. Okay, there are some words which he uses again and again. Sir, madam. Don't try to use any words again and again and again. Many professors you must have seen. Okay, these types of understood. These types of words should not be used during the interview. Okay. Many times using the same kind of word again and again and again is quite annoying. You must have seen it with your friends also, who have some habit of speaking, or with your professors also, who have a habit of using one word again and again and again. It is quite annoying to the person who is listening to it. So don't do that. Don't say I hope, sir, you have understood. Don't try to use such sentences. Don't call the interviewer by his or her first name unless and until you are invited to do so. I mean, sometimes you say sir and the person says no, call me Mr. Wani. Then you can go ahead with that. But don't call him by his first name. This is in India that we are talking about. If you see in UK, US, habit of calling the person by the first name. Okay, they prefer first name. In India, they prefer to be called okay or ma'am, or they prefer to be called by their surname. Okay, and that also, if the person tells you to call him, gives you the permission to call him by the name, then you can do that. Don't be very preachy. The person who is sitting in front of you is a knowledgeable person. The person who is sitting in front of you is having more skills, more knowledge about the job that he is offering to you. So don't be a preacher. Don't ask him whether they have understood. Don't try to explain it in great depth. The only thing that you have to do is you have to tell him that you know about the question that has been put forward for you. Don't mumble. Don't speak very quietly where the person is not able to hear and he is doing again. It means that he is not understanding what you are saying. Or don't say, don't play the words in your mouth. Don't do that. Okay. Be straightforward. Be simple. Be gentle. Okay, but be loud also. Okay. It doesn't mean you should be so loud that you are harsh. I don't mean that, but don't mumble in your mouth whereby he's not able to understand. Also, don't chatter while the interviewer is reviewing your resume. Most of the time when you go, you sit, he asks for your resume, or he makes you sit for some time, and by the time he's seeing at your resume. So once he's seeing at your resume, don't tell him, sir, in 10th I have got say 92%. Sir, you will see, sir, I have my experience over there. He's reading it. So let him read in peace. Okay, sir, I have this experience. He's reading it. Don't interrupt him. Okay, don't tell him in your resume. If you are going to tell him what is written in your resume, it shows that you have not drafted your resume properly. Your resume should be self-explanatory. Why do you have to again explain him orally once it is written over there, right? And if the interviewer wants some additional details about what is written over there, Then he can ask you that in which year you have done this project. Who was the, supposing you have not written who was the guide for the project, then he will ask you who was the guide for this project. These things he will ask you. If he asks you, then you can say, but don't try to go on speaking or don't try to give a background while he is reading the resume. Okay. The next thing that you have to remember is do not try to overpower or do bragging statements. Okay. He or she is not going to respond well to whatever you are saying. He's not going to like it, because he is basically recognizing the skills that you are possessing or not. Don't lie about anything, as somebody rightly talked about. Okay, many times people have an habit of lying about their salary. कि मुझे अभी इतनी salary, what more you can offer me. But remember, the recruiter is going to ask for the proof always. He can always call your earlier employer, because they are going to be in touch with each other about you. Before he takes you, he's going to talk about you with the employer. So don't brag about or don't lie about the skill sets that you possess. Don't brag about or lie about the positions that were held in your earlier offices. Don't brag or lie about the salary that you are earning or the perks that you are having over there. Okay, he's not going to. That is going to. You are going to get caught, and definitely, if they catch you taking lies, they're not going to appreciate it, or they are not going to hire you also. As we talked about earlier, don't criticize your present or the past employer. In fact, for that matter, as I said, I would like to talk about this. Don't criticize anybody with anyone. For example, if you come to me and if you criticize about one of the professors, the feeling that comes to my mind is, if you are criticizing about the other person to me, you will be criticizing about me also to the other person. Okay, so don't mention the bad things that or bad things that have happened in that organization. In fact, try to tell the good things about that employee, whatever has happened. And you can always say that if they ask you, then why are you leaving that organization, you can always say for better prospects. That employer is fantastic, that employer is good, but I want to learn some new things, that's why I'm shifting from that organization. That shows the cordial relationship that you have with your earlier existing employee. Many times, you should remain, even if you leave the organization, while leaving the organization also, while leaving the organization, you should speak, you should be in good terms with your managers, with your juniors, with your subordinates. Okay, because you are going to be inquired about. Okay, so see to it that don't criticize your employee. Okay, your present or the past employees that are there. Don't get angry or don't get irritated during the interviews. Okay, please remember, the employer is going to push you to the wall many a times in order to check what kind of person you are. Okay, so but if this happens, if you feel that the questions are inappropriate, they are very personal to you. Okay, and these are the questions that you would not like to answer. Okay, then definitely you can tell him, sir, these are not related to, excuse me, with these types of questions. I'm not comfortable answering these types of questions, or so on and so forth. Very personal questions, questions somewhat related to your family, questions somewhat related to your past employer or employee. These types of questions you can always ask him or her, sir, kindly excuse me with this question, I won't be in a position to answer it, or I don't find it, sir, relevant to answer it, because they are not pertaining to my job or pertaining to my knowledge. That you can always say, but don't get angry or don't get irritated at that moment. Okay, don't look at your watch, please. That is the most, sometimes many times it happens that when you are appearing an interview, there might be another interview which is been scheduled for you somewhere long distance where you have to travel and go. But please don't look at your watch. You may be short of time also, but don't look at it. Don't look at your watch. The interview will understand that you're not interested in giving the answers. You want to go somewhere. He's going to stop the interview and he's going to ask you to leave. So let the interview set its own pace. Don't hurry up with the answers. Okay, basically don't try to schedule 2 interviews back to back. Scheduled in this way, you try to talk to the any one of the employer and try to reschedule the interview as far as possible. But at any moment of time, don't look at the watch. Okay, and final two things, don't ask the question, will I get the job, or so on and so forth. I want this job. Don't. Rather, you can ask him at the end that I hope you can consider me as a candidate for the job. I really am interested in the job. Okay, these things can be said by you. As I told you, don't talk about the salary, or don't talk about the policies, etc., or many things, unless and until it goes up till the high. जब आपको इंटरव्यूअर बोल देता है कि yes, we are thinking to select you, or we have selected you, once they give an offer to you that yes, they have selected you, that is the time you should go on asking the question. Sir, if you are thinking of selecting me, what is the salary that you are offering me? What are the times of what are the timing of my work, and so on and so forth. Whatever questions you have, that should be brought out by you during the hiring process. Okay, don't ask at the beginning of the interview. Okay, so these are some of the don'ts, and these are some of the do's that you should follow when you are giving an interview.